Hi, hello, welcome. How are you? Busy here, as per usual. What's happening? Schedules changing, mixing up, so not too much time in the garden, but learning to take it in the dribs and drabs that I get. So busy with the chookies and my ducky here. My little new flock mates are getting acquainted to the older girls here. And my fur girls are watching on. You'll notice, if you pay attention, hey, only I notice, we are down one. We found her in the little coop, unable to walk, and for weeks I have nurtured her, feeding her vitamins and helping her keep off her feet, but alas, she has not thrived. Here, they're out of their little makeshift cage and all is well. Of course, there's the whole pecking order business, but
Don't peck me.
they're doing okay in there. So I did take Miss Ebony to the vet and have her humanely put to sleep and gave her a little burial. But have you seen my garden? Planting out the ever accumulation of new plants. Here is a conifer, of which I have one down there in that pot, and I put one in another spot, and this is the third. So I am putting it into this pot. Of course, cleaning out what didn't make it previously. Here comes my helpers. And this pink salvia coccinea. Yep, one less. Soil's not too bad here, so we will be reusing it. Love my one-handed work here. Chasing lizards. I managed to find 2 of these for $15 each from a home grower nearby and picked them up, as I haven't seen them again in the nurseries for a price I'm willing to pay. And the one I had already was doing really well. So as is, I'm always going on about more of what works.
No.
Doing that. Hey, Willow. There we go. See that beautiful coleus? This little vignette of pots. Work in progress. So, watering her in. You never see, well, quite often you don't see them watering it in, and I wonder, do they? I do. And here we are. I thought about this the other day. There's this geranium, pelargonium, that's just not thriving here. It's smaller than it used to be, and I thought best I put that in a pot so it has better drainage and see if it can thrive for me. So here I am. Yep, rocks. This used to be all rocks. This part used to be part of a driveway, and I have meticulously been digging out rocks ever since I chose to make it garden. Oh, there's some little blue balls I had in a bee watering bowl, but the dogs put a stop to that pretty quick. hence still finding the balls everywhere. So it looks to me like it seems to have separated into two bits, so I'm going to put them in this pot here that has I think it's an iris, I'm really not sure. And I'm going to put them in here along with that, and hopefully it will thrive and grow bigger and all around this iris, so that there's some kind of, I don't know, some kind of colour or something better to look at than just these strappy foliage when it's not in flower. Trying not to wreck it in the process. Just checking it. It's looking okay. In that one goes, and back for the second piece here. Note to self, I also need to move the paintbrush lilies, which are the green thicker foliage under my ceramic bits here. And they should be in more shade. It's not thriving there either. So put that one on the list. In again. So to the left here is Coreopsis. Seedlings you can buy in 6-packs at Bunnings or elsewhere that tend to seed around, and I have a lot of them. What works, we keep. And this is under an archway. That's not really a walkway because the plants are overtaking, but to the very left of the pot there, reaching up to the archway, and it does go up there, is a chocolate vine. I will share when that is flowering. Another traditional geranium to the right there, which needs a cut back. On the list. Alright, for now we're remembering to do this one. That's the geranium that needs cutting. Don't forget my shovel. Here we are. I've had a bag of bulbs to pot and they started growing in the bag, so about time. In this pot is some little violas, little seedlings, so I'm just popping these bulbs around it. And I noticed the good thing about this shovel is it has increments on it. So I don't think I've been burying my bulbs as they should be, as they've come to be either floppy or not thriving. So this one says 10 to 15, and here I'm making sure it's about that. So that's what makes me think I just haven't been doing it. I know each one is different, and I think the rule is 2 times depth the size of the bulb itself, but yeah, let's see how these ones go. Hopefully, taking into account the depth correctly, we'll see them thrive. So, handy shovel. Must remember to use that one next time. You'll see I actually have used this, and one of the prongs has broken. I believe I was digging in rocks. Nothing unusual around here. Need a bit more potting soil, I think. Fix up that little viola. Or pansy. It might be a pansy. Yep, off to the potting bench. This shovel has seen better days. bought a replacement because it lost its handle, and here we go. Need a pot for transport, as this is a bit of a ways away, and yeah, I'm not even using the handle. I'm so used to it without a handle. Oh well. Not loving this potting soil. I picked it up on a whim because it was a bargain 2 for something in a big bag, and I thought, oh, worth a try. It's not bad, but it's not great. I much prefer my Rocky Point Cocoa Pro. I'll show you what that looks like when I next go to fill there. I do have a bag in waiting. What I like to do is travel around the yard and fill any big pots that are empty before I then go and put the reserves in that bin near the potting bench. So here I am trying not to bury the mulch. I've heard that's not good, but a little bit's going to happen and it's not the end of the world. And there's a little bit more new soil up here. The violas or pansies might get a bit more growing happening here. Who knows? Another little trio of pots done. Over here, I got some golden marjoram or oregano, same family, and I thought this little pot could use some colour. There's a little pot hanger, but it's not really gonna hang well on this pot. So, I don't know. We might just try and make it, sit like that. So, handy dandy spade again. And the soil looks okay. Looks pretty darn good. Another pot hanger. I love echidna is Australian, but they're little hedgehogs. I'll pretend they're echidnas. Gee, that was well rooted in, wasn't it?
That was really well rooted in.
How much for that pot, but it's nothing more than a seedling. And I'm just checking here for a bag of death. If you know, you know. Not uncommon. This one did not, thankfully. And there we go, some bright chartreuse. Chartreuse. I can't say it as well as Klaus Dalby does. And let's put a rock there and maybe I can sit her on the rock. Yeah, that's it. Flimsy. Little echidnas. And that's the marjoram. And next we have this begonia. Picked up from the green shed. I've not ever seen these red pots or them sell these begonias, but this was in an odd spot and had a yellow ticket on it, so I said, yep, I'll try that. This pot needed something, so here we go. This pot I picked up secondhand and made it a hanging pot. It's beautiful. Here's a tuberous begonia in here and one in there, and they've gone to sleep. I know they will come back because they have before. Hopefully this other one is very similar. Yet another pot sitting there that needs to be filled. This area, nothing survived here, so we're starting from scratch. Perhaps it doesn't get as much sun as I thought, or it's drier than I thought. I'm forever amending soil, so we will do that, but I'm also looking towards more part shade type of plants here. I went to the Pine Rivers plant fair a couple of weekends back and I picked up this from JA's Herbs. I have had one before and I was told it would reseed for me, but that one didn't. But we'll see how this one goes. Just popping it here with my helpers. Ooh, what's that? Ooh. Winnie likes to smell everything. And not bad for one-handed gardening. I've got to learn to get my tripod out. And that'll be happening next time because this one-handed business is a bit difficult. Here we are with my tripod. As loath as I am to put this out on the webs, I am wearing my daughter's Crocs. I broke my thongs. Now, they're not the breakable kind, you know, where the plug comes out. No, they were Archie's, but I believe I wet them quite often when I'm wearing them because I'm in the garden, I get dirty. And I slipped and they broke. So anywho, I need to replace and I just haven't yet. My daughter conveniently has many pairs of these, which I'm not a fan of the look of, but I'm in my garden. And besides putting it on the internet, including my belly here, oh my God, I can see why. I believe it's Laura at Gardener, so she wears those, she wears a really long singlet under what she's wearing, and it means she never shows her belly, just no matter what top she wears. Maybe I need to invest in those, but I also do need to lose some weight, so not really looking to invest in too many new clothes right now. You'd think all this gardening would be enough of a workout, but no, I do love my junk and can't help it. Anywho, Crocs, let's just pretend I don't have them on. And here I am. Yes, I'm an advocate for leaving the leaves, but sometimes there's just too many. So I am thinning it out and they will make it to a garden bed I am filling elsewhere and reused. So I'm looking to improve the soil here and also looking to see if there's anything surviving here. I had some phlox, but I don't know that they're suited to my climate really. Subtropical. I tried, they didn't survive. And here, this is blue fescue. And it's not thriving here like elsewhere in my garden. So I will dig them up. I think there's 5 of them here. And replace. Plant starter. Now you see all the big Americans using their biotone and swearing that it's the best thing ever for their plants. So I looked into something available here in Australia and that is it. Osmocote plant starter. Is it doing much? I don't know yet. Time will tell. And I will tell you. So here, playing with the tripod and its angles, and my fur helpers really getting in there today. So yeah, I am just doing some holes. They don't really need to be that deep, but I am trying to till up the ground as well. And making lots of many little holes. Oh, what have I got growing here? Just checking. There is plants under there. I am planting some lobelia in blue flowering and some borage. I am also going to be planting some primula. There's a little chocolate plant I'm trying to avoid there. And Virginia, that's what it is. There's 2 there. One has been lopped off and I'm hoping it'll grow back. And there's one right under the Deutzia. Is it a Deutzia? I think that's what it is. So there's my primulas. Just moving them around and There they are, Primula White. I had these in here last season and they did really well. They actually flowered right through the spring into the summer, but once it got really hot and I think the humidity just, and I pulled them out. But yeah, they are cool flowering in my climate. Hence I am putting them in here at the end of autumn, start of winter. We've just started getting some little cool temperatures. Sometimes still quite hot in the day, but that's a lot of our winter too. So yes, cool flowering plants, and the girls are getting into the fertilizer, so I need to hurry up and fill my holes. That's the thing with having pets. They do like the smells. I will be needing to cover here, not just from the girls wanting to dig them up, but they do run through and inadvertently sit on and trample, and I'm pretty sure there's a bit of nighttime wildlife happening in this area, the gum tree garden. Can't tell you what or when because I'm not coming out here at night time. But yes, 18 little holes for the Primula White, 7 for the Lobelia, 1 for the Borage, and just tucking them in. Obviously my back feels this later on, but at the time. There is some herb robert that has self-seeded in that area. I'm just tucking it in to make sure I didn't disturb it too much. And here we are with our little cages. I pick up bits and bobs from op shops and tent peg them down to the best I can to try and save my little plants. And further along is my fancy cages, which were a splurge once. I would love to have lots of them, but a couple of bucks here and there at the op shop is more my speed. So you'll see all the primulas all along here. And I have topped it off with a bag of premium planting mix. So it's a upgrade of garden soil with a little bit of extras in it. Here we are, Arthropodium. I didn't show that, but I had them in another area, one big clump, and they weren't thriving there. So I have come here and pulled them apart. I think I got 5 bundles here. There's, in between the cage and them is a white evolvulus, and just where I'm hosing now is a blue evolvulus. The blue came from a pot elsewhere. The white has been here, and that was the surviving plant, really. Pots there upside down to try and stop the running truck. It works sometimes it doesn't. There's my fancy cloches. It does clip together. but trying to extend its use and keeping it apart there. To the far right, near this rock, is actually some little bulbs coming up, but they didn't flower last year, so I don't know. A lot of bulbs will not reflower. They will come back up, but they won't flower. So here is where the blue fescue is working, and I have bumped up with the ones I pulled out. I've added in here and one to the right there to just bulk up this area. And we'll see how they go. Cleaned the bird bath here. And this one doesn't normally like the hose, but hey, here we are. Just been watching the other one. Now I'm really in trouble with both of them liking the water. Oh, this one, don't get me wrong, she likes water. She will plop herself in my pond like it's a personal spa, but she doesn't normally go for the hose like this. Interesting. Off to another spot. Here I am using my handy dandy auger, and I was trying to show here changing the torque so that when it gets something it will stop. My one-handed filming is not the greatest. Rocks. Another area that was driveway. And here we go. It's stopping. And now is the time for the Tagetes passion fruit marigold. And it is a beauty. It's flopping, and I'm trying to still love it. Colour. The geranium's doing well in between the grasses there. The echinacea to the right. The basil. The heliotrope. Alyssum. Gomphrenas there, pink ones coming through. Just beautiful colour. The pink salvia also flopping over. A different heliotrope there. And the sun, glorious sun waves. Just beautiful. That's it for the garden so far. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.